Hey guys, so I'm going to kind of break down some changes to my training and how things are going with lifting and running, and just talk about things in general because it's been a little while since I did a video on here and I want to kind of get caught up on everything. Now, as of Saturday, it'll be 10 weeks out from the half marathon, November 11th, Veterans Day, my dad's birthday, going to be a big day. I will have spent approximately, I think it's like, oh, what is it? Trying to think here, guys. I think it'll have been about 35 weeks of training leading up to that, maybe 37, something along those lines. 35 to 37 weeks of training I've done leading up to that half marathon, starting from scratch. I posted it before, but the first mile I did was back in February. It was right after I did the first podcast with Dave Tate, and it was on the treadmill, and I did like a 13:18 pace for a mile. And it was brutal. So that just kind of goes to show how far you can come. Um, I've got a big test on Friday. So Friday I'll be doing a half marathon time trial. So that 10 weeks out, we're going to see where things are at. I'm going to do a lot of it on the course that the actual half marathon will be run on. I can't run the full course because it's not safe with traffic, but I can run probably 80% of the course. So I'm going to do an evaluation as far as that goes and try to hit. I want to be in that 146 to 148 range. So the weather's looking like 85 degrees that day. It won't be that hot when I run that early in the morning. It'll probably be actually late morning around like 11. I'm going to guess it's going to be like 75 degrees. So if I can do 146 to 148-ish, that's like an 805, 810 pace. That should put me in pretty good shape to try to get the 140, 737 minute pace come November when it's a lot cooler and I'll be even faster from training. Another thing, so I do want to do another test run of the mile soon. I think I could go 620-ish, but I want to make a run at a 550 mile and a 550 squat in the same day. So that would be pretty sick. I don't think anyone's ever done that. The 500 miles obviously still pretty far out of reach at the moment, but 550 I don't feel is that far off. I'm getting a lot faster. I've built a ton of speed. I think one of the things I've done right is really focused on speed and building that speed up, because the more practice you have running faster, the better off you're going to be. It'll make slower paces. Or let me put it this way. If you get used to running faster, it makes it to where your easy paces are faster as well. Like pretty soon your easy pace will be, instead of 9 minutes, 8:30, and 8:30 won't even feel bad. And you just see this acceleration in your progress. So I hit a pretty big squat yesterday as well, kind of a test of things. I've been doing all my training with a mid-bar squat, bare knee. I've been belted, but I've been doing mid-bar, bare knee. That's what's felt best. And I evaluated my squat yesterday, low bar with sleeves, and got 502. So I'm going to post that video here. 502 squat is where I'm currently at on squat. Maybe I had 10, 15 more pounds. So obviously if I want to get to the 551 goal, we got some more cut out for us. But I'm going to get tuned up at the chiropractor today. I haven't been in about 6 months. My back's been a little aggravated, which the low bar aggravates it more than mid bar. So mid bar is the majority of all my training, like squatting. And a big change I've made to my squat training is I'm squatting twice a week now instead of 3 days. So as the weights got heavier, recovery, got tougher, and I just thought it was going to be better to shift these squat days to like a Monday and a Friday split, as opposed to before where it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So 2 days of squats now instead of 3. Also 2 days of bench instead of 3 on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So the weights portion of my training now is 4 days total. I've got upper body Tuesday and Saturday, bench, dips, jam, press, curls, pull downs, that sort of stuff. That's what the upper body stuff is looking like. Lower body, just squats right now. Just squats, hammering away. It's getting my legs stronger, which I'm noticing is helping me become a lot faster. So I'm squatting, like I said, twice a week, Monday, Friday, that's it. Running-wise, still 6 days a week. This week's a little different because the mileage is much less, given that I'm doing the time trial on Friday and I want to come in fresh. So I want to come in as fresh as possible with my legs. So it's just pretty short, easy runs, less mileage this week. But other than that, I'm still going in that 40 to 42 mile per week threshold. That's where most of my training lies, Monday through Saturday, with Sunday being the off day. So Friday is still the long run day. Usually that's 12 miles as of now. And, that's a perfect distance to just be logging 12s on a much tougher course than the half marathon on a weekly basis. I got 2 speed days, Monday, Wednesday, and then 3 easy run days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So that's where the training's at now. 6 days of running, 4 days of lifting. Things are going great. Assuming my back holds up, I definitely think I can get a 550 squat at 200 pounds. So I gained like 4 pounds when we were in South Carolina for my stepson's graduation from Marine Corps boot camp. He was on Parris Island for 13 weeks, made it through. Really proud of him. But and one thing about South Carolina I should note, it's much, much flatter than Tennessee. Much. It's pancake flat along the coast. So even though it was hot, that led to some really fast running times. I did like a 6 miler at 7:45 pace, and a couple of those miles were like 7:23s. Really fast for me. And it felt great to not have all the hills. Like, it made me realize how Tennessee is just crazy hilly by comparison. But I'm feeling on track for these goals. I want to get the 550 squat, which will be 551. That'd be 4 reds and a yellow on the power bar. And assuming my back holds up, like I said, that's the real test, because my back is what gets aggravated a lot. And a lot of you guys have back issues. I have a lot of clients who have back issues from time to time. Back issues are a part of the game with lifting. It's just a part of the game. They're never going to completely disappear. You'll have periods where they disappear, but they're always going to be there to an extent. So how do you work around these? And for me, I got lazy. I wasn't doing the McGill Big 3. That's the classic. Doing the McGill Big 3 with good form on the curl-ups, the bird dogs, the side planks. That's going to help immensely on a consistent basis. And then I think a thing that I majorly neglected was my hips. My hips got super tight, never stretched them, and it posed problems. It led to that pulling of my back into the anterior pelvic tilt position, and I definitely think that exacerbated some of this back pain. So I'm going to be doing a lot of, the quad wall stretch, and I'm going to do a lot of the frog stretch and the butterfly stretch and the 90-90 stretch and the piriformis bench stretch. So those are all the stretches I'm going to key in on to open my hips up, as far as external hip rotation, internal hip rotation, hip extension, and hip flexion. I'm going to key in on all those areas, all facets of the hip. And neglecting that, I think, really cost me. So I really want to be more diligent about hip mobility. And that's going to be another priority moving forward. Now, what else should we get into? Physique-wise, probably the leanest I've been in a long time, ever. I mean, I feel amazing. I'm sitting about 205 now. I was 200. I'm probably actually like 202 in the morning, but I gained a couple of pounds from being in South Carolina, like we talked about. But I'm always in that 200, 205 range. That's where I'm at. I like being there. It's just the perfect balance between being fast and having some strength. So I really like that number. I think for a lot of people, 200 pounds is a good spot if you want that balance. But physique-wise, I'm pretty lean. Let's put it that way. So I'm really happy with that. Things are going well. It's I'm actually probably working with less guys one-on-one as far as coaching right now than I have for most of the last couple of years. But it's freed up a little more time to focus on the guys I do have. And it's also given me time to really hone in on these goals. So I've got big goals, man. Excuse me. I've got big goals. You guys have seen that. I think it's really important to have big goals. You should always be striving for something major. And I feel more dialed in now than I ever have. Like I said, next year the goals are going to be massive. I've talked about this before. I'm just chipping away one day at a time. But for now, the main goals are the 550 squat, 550 mile, and the 140 half marathon. That would be super versatile. I think I'm right on the cusp of a 54 VO2 max. So that's improved a lot. VO2 max being how much oxygen you can utilize during exercise. And I started at like 48 when I did my first run outside. And now it's 53. I think we're going to be closing in on 54, which is pretty cool to see. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, it'll probably get to that point. And I've noticed every time my VO2 max goes up a point, I'm notably faster. I feel so much faster. The correlation is dead on. I think Garmin is pretty good accuracy. I've seen people do studies on it. Garmin's pretty much dead on as far as the VO2 max compared to in-lab testing. So that's good. That's big. Supplement-wise, still just on vitamin D3, vitamin K2, vitamin B complex. Still taking iron because I'm using it up. Don't think it does anything. I'm going to try maybe, I think it's called Shilajit. And that's something somebody sent me to try out. And I'm going to see if that boosts red blood cells as well. But I haven't been on creatine still. So I think if I had in creatine, that will push things over the top to the 550 squat. So I'm really thinking I might do that soon. A creatine, possibly Tonkat Ali. And that could be the catalyst to get the 550 squat. So I think the 550 squat, I don't know which one will be harder, the 550 squat or the 550 mile. I'd say they're about equidistant away from where I'm at now. So I've got my work cut out to get both of those. But I'm feeling fairly confident. If my back holds up, I'll get the squat. I have no doubt. Creatine, especially on creatine, that'll boost things over the top to get to that point. The 550 mile, hard to say. I think, I could really knock off a 620 right now. Maybe a 617, 15. So that's still a little ways away, but it's getting there. But really happy with training. And, what questions do you guys have for me? Let me know. Let me know as far as the channel and all that. I think I am going to be a little more bold about speaking out about my beliefs and stuff. Whether that's belief in God, whether that's belief in the corrupt politicians right now, and how jacked up it is that they're basically trying to eliminate the middle class, which most of us would fall within the middle class range, and the elites and all these people, these terrible politicians, are working to size us out. But now that I've seen a lot of people speaking out and not getting their channels banned, I'm more likely to do it, because I've seen people where I'm like, man, you think that would for sure get censored and their channels banned, and it hasn't happened. So, and this is all in line with Oliver Anthony's song, which we've all heard at this point, Rich Men North of Richmond, fantastic song that sums up how we all feel about how taxes are garbage, politicians are garbage, the government's garbage, all that sort of stuff. So I think I might be willing to go down that rabbit hole more often, given that I have not been seeing people get banned. So if I'm not at risk of having the channel banned, why not? Because I think it's all trash too, and I think the current administration is trash, and I think all of this is ridiculous, and I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've been following Chad Wright. He's a barbell apparel guy, and he really speaks out about this stuff. He's a former SEAL. He's done a 250-mile ultramarathon, the Cocodona 250 from Phoenix to Flagstaff. He's an awesome guy. He lives like 3 hours from me, so I got to collab with him. I got to go run with him and lift or something, because he's not far, and he has a fantastic videos about this kind of stuff. So I might, my views align with that. I might be more willing to go down that rabbit hole. Only one who can save us really is ourselves and God, and we gotta, I feel like having faith is going to help, but I also feel like we need to do what we can to fight this injustice and these people who are trying to, they're corrupt. Don't even get me started on what happened in Maui, because there are a lot of holes in that whole wildfire situation that arose, and how they handled it and all that sort of stuff. And I could keep going, but we'll talk about more of that later on. That's an update on life, guys. That's an update on life. We're all feeling the inflation and the squeeze of them trying to get rid of the middle class and all that sort of stuff. So I relate to you all there. Like I said, I'm a regular guy. I got a daughter. I don't want her to grow up in this crazy world with these corrupt people. I think, now's the time to stand up, because I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about my family. I'm worried about my daughter. I don't want to have her growing up with the world being how insane it is, people having no morals, no values, getting away from God, getting away from religion. You notice a society that gets away from religion is a society that gets away from morals. There's no morals in society anymore, because people have gotten away from religion. So I feel like no matter what your beliefs are, religion kept a lot of people in check, kept a lot of people having morals. And I do think people committing these egregious crimes, the elites committing these egregious crimes against society will be punished for it, will spend time in hell for these crimes against humanity. So I believe their time's coming, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't still hold people accountable here on earth. What they're doing in the school system is trash. I would never put my daughter in public school, that sort of stuff. So this is all, my wife feels very strongly about this stuff as well. It's ridiculous. I just feel like, we do have to start standing up. We know what they did with the lockdowns. We know it was all made up, basically. We know it was all an agenda. We know all this. We can see it now. We can see what they've done. So I don't trust them. I think nobody trusts them anymore. And I think it's time we start standing up. So, but if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching.